always call a bitch fat. That's fine. But you can never call me ugly. What's up, baby? I see y'all thinking like, damn, this bitch in the bright today. Is because it is Thanksgiving, okay? And I will be outside tonight. Happy Thanksgiving to all of y'all. Happy Pride. I see all the bottoms getting ready to only eat ice because they're getting cracked tonight. Rightfully so. But me, if I do anything tonight, I'm on some side action because I will be fucking up a yam mac combo. Do you understand? Do you hear me when I'm saying? I'm so happy, y'all. Like, for those of you who don't know, because none of you will probably know because I've never told you, Thanksgiving is the most elite holiday outside of Juneteenth to me. And I really want to call it Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. So that's what we're going to call it today. But I just love a good meal and seeing my good Judies, my good family, my cousins I ain't seen in forever, my aunties and uncles I ain't seen in forever, and just sharing a good bomb-ass meal. Christmas, it's too capital. It's too much for me. I, for the first time, truly, because I say this, I'm gonna do this every year. I'm keeping Christmas about the children this year. Only getting gifts for the kids under 18s in my life, because A, my expenses have increased significantly since last Christmas, and B, I just feel like that's all it should be about. Provide your children with memories that they'll never forget, that they can cherish when they're adults. All this whole get a gift for everybody, I'm not doing that shit. Why would I go into debt for one day out of the year? Why? And please, if you're seeing this and you know that I'm a part of the family, that, don't give me nothing. I don't need nothing. Okay. I'm 25. My mother loves to say I'm pushing 30. And so I'm going to live like somebody pushing 30. I'm going to be a grown man. Don't give me nothing. I ain't got it. But you know who do got it? Beyonce got it. And that's what we're talking about today. So apparently y'all think Beyonce thinks that we give a damn about how much weight she loses or gains, when she has told us several times in the past and in the present, I don't give a fuck. I'm Beyonce. But I do want to have this conversation because I think society thinks that they own Black women's bodies even in 2025, and that when we speak, they should listen and they should adjust and they should lose or gain weight. And I also want to say this to Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, two Black women in their own right. See what I did there? I do believe that a lot of the conversations that is being held about Cynthia and Ariana can also be tied into the conversations being had about Beyonce and Rihanna, two women who are being critiqued for gaining too much weight, and two women are being critiqued for losing too much weight. And it's different when you are expressing thoughts and concerns and sending prayers and thoughts and hoping that everything is okay health-wise, because obviously when you do gain a significant amount of weight, there can be some health concerns with that. And the same goes for when you lose a significant amount of weight, which is what people are talking about with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, aka the bald lady and the crying white girl. But I do think a lot of this is not coming from a place of genuine concern and care and compassion. I think it's coming from the general consensus that it is okay to police women's bodies, especially women we grew up watching on the television screen. So let's get into some things. I kind of want to focus more on being Rihanna on this video, because I do think that there are too many videos dedicated to the weight of Cynthia and Ariana. We do not know what's going on, and we shouldn't jump to assume that they are losing weight on purpose or that the industry is telling them to lose weight, even though I can agree to that to a certain extent, because we are in an age of conservatism. And one of those things that people are trying to conserve are the traditional body types and body standards. And when you are a celebrity, there is some sort of responsibility that you have when it comes to the messages that you are sending to the public, especially children. But at the end of the day, you are nobody's parent. It's your body. It's your choice to do what you want to do with that body. And I ain't got much to say about that. I am coming from the aspect of, this reminds me of the harsh critique that Chadwick Boseman faced months or a couple years prior to his passing, and we all see what was going on now. I only pray and hope that that same situation is not taking place among anybody in this industry, especially two women who are being critiqued heavily for their current weight while doing what they love to do. And that's why I'm gonna leave that. Going back to the Beyonce critique of her gaining too much weight, and even Rihanna, because she was in the same I guess, bathtub. I don't even want to say hot water, lukewarm water, about the conversations about how they have fallen from grace when it had just come to being the women we know them as 25-year-old women, skinny, metabolism like that. And I want to point out two things, right? So we know a lot of this is coming from fat phobia, right? Do y'all know that Western fat phobia has major roots in the transatlantic slave trade? And I brought up a paper that I wrote when I was 19, I want to say, for one of my sociology classes, and it just opened my eyes to how most of the isms, colorism, texturism, classism, all of that are descendants of white supremacy. And we all know white supremacy is descendant of the transatlantic slave trade. So this is what parts of it that we know of today come from. Western ideas about thin equal good and fat equal bad didn't exist in the same way before the 1600s. In many cultures, including West African, Caribbean, Pacific Islander, and even medieval European societies, larger bodies were seen as healthy, wealthy, beautiful, and fertile. Here is what changed. A scientific racism during slavery was brought upon the white masses while killing the black masses and enslaving them. When Europeans began the transatlantic slave trade, they needed ways to identify and justify enslaving people. So they created fake ass science claiming that African bodies were savage or excessive. Black women's bodies were too big, too curvy, too sexual, thin, small, fragile. White femininity equaled purity. Larger black bodies equaled inferior, animalistic, and lacking of discipline. That was not incidental. It was a strategy to dehumanize black folk, make whiteness the beauty standard, and control black women's bodies. Colonial beauty standards. Europeans pushed thinness, small waistlines, delicate, dainty bodies as proof of natural superiority. Meanwhile, black bodies were painted as the opposite: big, undisciplined, lazy, educated, and unclean. And this is exactly where fat phobic stereotypes come from today. Look at the case of Sarah Baartman, right? Sarah Baartman, the Honor Venus, was taken from South Africa and displayed in Europe because of her body shape. Her exploitation shaped Western views of black women, curves, fatness, and beauty. Europeans literally built policies, stereotypes, and beauty standards from mocking her body. Post-slavery health reformers and eugenics. In the late 1800s to 1900s, early fitness and nutrition movements were led by people openly tied to eugenics, white supremacy, racial purity movements that preached thinness equaling virtue, fatness equaling moral failure, and self-discipline equaling whiteness. That turned fat phobia into a health narrative instead of just a beauty narrative. Modern fat phobia still mirrors anti-blackness. Think about the language: obesity epidemic, lack of self-control, unhealthy lifestyle, discipline, respectability. Most of these ideas come from the historical beliefs tied to slavery and racism and not actual science. So, did Western fat phobia come from slave trade? I would say yes. The transatlantic slave trade and European colonialism created the foundation for Western fat phobia as we know it today. It's rooted in anti-blackness. It's rooted in white supremacy, Victorian beauty standards, eugenics, and the need to justify racial hierarchy. So when we say fat phobia is racist, we ain't exaggerating. It's literally historically accurate. And if you want, we can get into a whole nother video one day about that. But I just wanted to put a little excerpt out. Shout out to me at 19 on my sociology paper. Shout out to Miss Van Lathan. Gave me an A pass that class. It was one of my favorite general education courses, for real. Shout out to Prairie State Community College, okay? But as we see, this definitely applies to the policing of black women's bodies, specifically black women's bodies today. I mean, there was just a trend a couple months ago. There was a black woman telling another black woman, hey, y'all fat, get in the gym. Look at your brothers. They still fit in their 40s. Why are you a slop? And I purposely chose to shut the fuck up when it came to that subject. You will never catch me policing a black woman's body. They can do it to their own selves. That's their problem. That's their topic. But I will always say protect black women. And my way of protecting black women was not taking place in that trend. If anything, I think I made a video saying like, hey, men, sit this one out. You know, a lot of women have fibroids. A lot of women have health issues where they cannot physically work out. A lot of women got the whole house on their back. A lot of women just are naturally bigger. And I think we need to really accept the fact that some women are just naturally bigger. It's going to take quite the amount of time to undo the damage that the transatlantic slave trade has done on my people. Centuries of trauma, centuries of bloodshed, centuries of lives starting from 0 to some people living up to be 100. spending their whole life enslaved, and then having children who spent their whole lives enslaved, and grandchildren and great grandchildren who spent their entire existence on this planet enslaved. So, of course, we've only a couple centuries removed from slavery. We're still feeling the long-term effects of that because we have been free a much shorter amount of time than we were enslaved. And I really, something about when men know this specifically turns me on. When a man is intelligent to see through white supremacy and the cousins and daughters and sons of white supremacy being fat phobia, colorism, texturism, all the isms. Ooh, it really grinds my gears. If you're a brother and you down with the cause, hit a nigga up. I love you all. But honestly, Beyonce has the capital and Beyonce has the access to gain weight and it not impact her career today. And that has not always been the case. I remember in the early 2000s and then in the 99s, a big reason why Tina Knowles was always by their side was because she was designing for curvy girls from Houston, Texas clothing. And when you read between the lines of that, nobody wanted to dress fat black women. And I look at these pictures of the girls from back in the day, and it is crazy that a lot of people deem them fat. And it's crazy of the pictures that I see of Beyonce and Rihanna today, and people are still deeming them fat. And as somebody who is a gay, a femme, a lot of gay femme experiences mirror that of a lot of a woman's. My weight is always a topic of subject between family and friends. And it's something that I have definitely struggled with to um, kind of soup out when it's coming from a place of love and when it's coming from just people trying to be assholes. Like, yeah, sometimes my arms, they jiggle when they clap, but I'm still fine as hell. Sometimes I'm a waist 38, sometimes I'm a waist 34, but I still get that call when it's time to go down. I'm still beautiful in the face. Like, Janet Jackson is a premier example of being fine at any size. So is Queen Latifah. So is Monique. Some of the most valid face cards in my life are usually held by plus size women. They're beautiful, beautiful at any weight, at any size. And the weight shouldn't even be a topic of discussion, especially when it ain't your own damn weight. You know what I'm saying? I understand that signs of weight, whether losing too much or gaining too much, indicate that something may be wrong health wise, which is why I would have thought Chadwick would have taught us to really stop speaking on anybody's bodies in general. But I see that hasn't applied to everybody because people love to speak their mouth about Beyonce and Rihanna. And when you're speaking about these women, you have to understand that you're also talking about your mother, you're talking about your sister, you're talking about your cousin who is just as big or have never been as small. So you have to really be careful about the things you put online and say about these people, because guaranteed someone that you love is going to see that one day and be like, damn, well, if this is about Beyonce and Rihanna or any celebrity who is too big or too small in their eyes, I wonder what they think about me when they see me coming around. Like, am I a fat bitch to them? And you can call a bitch fat. And I'm talking about me right now. You can always call a bitch fat. That's fine. But you can never call me ugly. Okay? And that same thing applies to all of these women I'm speaking about. You can say I'm too thin, you can say I'm too fat. I went on the shot last year, right? And I lost 10 pounds in 1 month. I lost 10 pounds in 1 month. I lost 10 pounds in 1 month. That is not healthy. And I was on this drug that was cleared by the government, but because I am black and I'm aware that black people have historically had a rocky relationship with medications and drugs and the government, I got a bad taste. And not only did I have bad taste, I had bad side effects and bad symptoms, and I was throwing up. I never throw up. I don't even throw up when I drink too much. I was nauseous. I'm never nauseous, even when I have a stomach bug. I was throwing up black residue. Really scared me. Diarrhea for a whole 24 hours where I couldn't do anything but stay tethered to my bedroom and my toilet. And so I asked myself, I feel better at a bigger weight, even though society may think I look better. And I'm going through all of these rough side effects. It's costing me capital. It's costing me time. It has me paranoid. I may not make it back from this. This is a relatively new shot. This is a relatively new drug. We don't even know the long-term effects of this drug just because it's cleared by the government that it may cause. You know, some people from the shots have gotten permanent stomach paralysis where they have lost all of their stomach acid. So they will forever have to eat like they're on a food virus of sort, or a flu virus or a stomach virus of sorts. And so I asked myself, I said, bitch, if you know you find it anyway, right? Are you really doing this for the right reason? Is it worth going through? Is it? I don't know. And I stopped. I still have the shots, my second dosage of both types. I was on Wegovy, and I want to say Zepbound last year. And I thought I looked amazing, but I also thought I looked amazing beforehand. I just wanted a little push and to see if I could get back to where I was in high school. And I did in a much shorter time, which I think wasn't healthy. But now I am at a pretty healthy weight, in my opinion. My doctor thinks I'm pretty healthy. She understands that I'm black. I have a black doctor, and she gets that black people are just naturally bigger, and that is okay. So you're maybe overweight to what the normal standard is, but I understand. I'm looking at you. You got it going on. And these women have got it going on. And I really want to speak again on Beyonce too, because people don't realize still, after she showed us several times, Beyonce is an athlete. Athletes, just like in the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, the whatever the fuck, sometimes they bulk up just to gain muscle. And I think Beyonce is getting ready to drop Act 3. She's getting ready to tour. I think that this is going to be her biggest tour yet. I think she's going to truly do a world tour. And you got to bulk up for that. You got to gain some muscle. You got to fluff it up a little bit to get through those long days. So I see an athlete when I see one. And she has definitely showed us time and time again she can shed that weight like it's nobody's business. But she also tells us to mind your damn business. Focus on this music. Now, bitch, I would like to say, hey, I would love to focus on these visuals. Yeah, I got you, B. I got you. I'll wrap all this up with a nice little Thanksgiving ribbon to remind you, be thankful for who you are. Be thankful for the power of looking in the mirror and being like, yeah, that's me, bitch. Whatever it is that you want to be, that Toyota, that Honda Civic, that toaster, that do-rag. Know that you've been that because you thought it and you are that. Till I see y'all next time. Peace.
You disrespect.